Hello, and welcome to Independent Animal Rescue's 22nd annual painted chair auction. Although the event planned for fall 2024 had to be slightly delayed, we're delighted to be here with you in the spring of 2025 for one of our largest and most important annual fundraisers. This year's online auction will run from April 7th to April 17th, and we're looking forward to connecting virtually with the community, not only to raise money to continue our work, but to be able to acknowledge and share the impact our donors have on homeless, abandoned, and abused animals in the Triangle area. Each year, in addition to the excitement and fun of the auction, we also make this special plea because we want you to see the impact you are having on animals that may have otherwise gone unseen, uncared for, and denied the opportunity to live a comfortable, happy life, or in some cases, to even live at all. Keep in mind, as I share just 3 rescue stories from the last year, that there are hundreds of other success stories just like these every year. And without you, these animals may not have had the happy ending that they deserve. This is Frankie, who's now called Franny, on the left, and Franklin on the right. These dogs are mother and son that a Good Samaritan fed for many years. Until they came into IAR at ages 14 and 12, they had lived outdoors on chains their entire lives and never received veterinary care. When IAR took them in, they had several health problems. Franny, the mom, had a prolapsed uterus and sores on her ears. Her son Franklin had a growth on his nose, and he had also been hit by a car some years before, and his leg was broken, but it was never set. Despite their difficult lives, these dogs were very sweet and eager to make friends. Sweet, gentle Franny had endured a lifetime of misery and neglect. Barely hanging on after 14 years on a chain, she was rescued into the IAR foster program not a minute too soon. The first week of her indoor life, she spent almost exclusively sleeping and barely eating. Her teeth and joints were hurting. She was barely able to walk. She was throwing up daily and had no expectations of a good life. After having 4 infected molars removed and receiving weeks of arthritis treatment, she was finally eating and moving comfortably. This sweet senior girl was adopted after 5 months in foster care and will live the remainder of her life in the way that all dogs should, with comfort, safety, and love. Franklin, Franny's 12-year-old pup, had a rough start adjusting to being in foster care, but little by little, he began to come out of his shell. He gained confidence with walks and was excited to make friends with his foster home's resident dog, who was also a senior. After about 2 weeks in his foster home, it became clear he was learning to live as a loved and cared for dog. He began to trust that the love he was now getting wouldn't be taken away. In the month he spent in foster care, he grew from a shut-down shell of a dog to a friendly, curious, happy dog. According to his foster family, the real testament was the change in his eyes. When he first came home, his eyes were sad and empty. By the time he went on his trial run at his adopter's home, he had so much life behind his eyes. Franklin is now happy and loved in a home he will have for the rest of his days. And finally, this is Ribbon. Ribbon came to IAR as an owner surrender. Initially, she was completely emaciated, dehydrated, and had lots of missing fur, most likely from malnutrition. Her previous owner was unable to take care of her because of medical issues, and Ribbon would have been taken to the shelter to be euthanized if IAR was not able to step in. When she started in foster care, she was just around 3 pounds. Although she was 12 years old, she was so thin and frail that she was often mistaken for a kitten. During the first few days in her foster home, Ribbon hid beneath the bed, emerging only to drink a little bit of fluid or take a few bites of food. Despite being so fragile, every night, as her foster mom slept, Ribbon would summon the strength to climb into the bed, nuzzling beneath her foster mom's hand. For weeks, she did little but eat and sleep, but slowly she gained strength. Then one day, Ribbon decided she was strong enough and brave enough to explore. At first, just stepping into the hallway was a triumph. Then stairs, once an insurmountable challenge, became her next victory. Before long, she was scaling cat towers, and one day she found a small catnip rocket in a toy basket and began to play with it. Her foster mom says that she cried upon seeing this because this was the moment when she knew that Ribbon was going to be okay. Within 3 months, Ribbon had transformed from a fragile shadow of a cat into a playful, spirited companion. And as if on cue, the perfect adoptive family appeared, a forever home, ready to love her as she deserved. Ribbon's foster mom wrote to us, "Fostering saved Ribbon's life. It gave her the time, care, and love that she needed to heal. But fostering does more than save one cat or one dog. It creates a ripple effect of kindness, proving that every life, no matter how small or how frail, is worth fighting for. For those who donate, foster, and adopt, know this: you are the reason stories like Ribbons exist. Because of you, hope is never out of reach. I think our foster parents for our highlighted stories tonight said it best. You can see that change. You can see it in their faces, in their eyes, in their walk. You can see the realization that they know they are finally safe, finally loved. And it's because of you, our selfless supporters, that hope stays alive for every cat and dog out there right now awaiting rescue, hoping to be seen and hoping that someone will come for them. At IAR, we will continue to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to answer the endless calls for help that we receive. But we can't do any of it without your support. Every dollar you give turns into medical care, food, shelter, safety, and love for cats and dogs who need it and so deserve it. When you give today and throughout this auction, you make more of these stories possible. So thank you for believing with us that these animals deserve better, and for believing with us that we can do better for them. So once again, on behalf of these animals that we all love so much and will never stop fighting to save, thank you for being here and for your generous, life-saving donations. You or anyone can donate to this special plea at any time during the course of the auction. Thanks again, and enjoy the auction.